Welcome back to Classic Nostalgia Shows, the podcast where we celebrate the movies, television shows, actors, and unforgettable moments that truly defined the golden age of entertainment. Honestly, if you're passionate about classic television, those timeless movies, old westerns, and all those incredible memories they created, then you've absolutely found your home with us.
It's so true, John. And today's episode, it isn't just about television, really. It's about family. It's about traditions that many of us grew up with. It's about an era when watching TV wasn't something people typically did alone. It was this wonderful, shared experience the whole family engaged in together.
Absolutely. Think about it. Long before hundreds of cable channels, long before streaming services, before DVRs were even a concept, before smartphones, and definitely before binge watching, there was a time when almost every single American family gathered around one solitary television set. Everyone watched the same shows, at the same time, on the same night.
And if you missed an episode, oh boy, you either waited until summer reruns if you were lucky, or sometimes you just never saw it again. That was it. No rewinding, no on-demand. Today, we're taking a fantastic trip back to those simpler days as we explore how families watched TV before cable.
It's easy to forget, isn't it, Annie, that televisions weren't always common household items? I mean, during the late 1940s, many families just didn't own one. People would actually gather in neighbors' homes just to watch important broadcasts.
I've heard stories about that. My grandmother used to talk about how they'd go to the department store just to stare at the sets in the window. Some stores even displayed them so passers-by could experience this incredible new technology. It must have felt like science fiction.
It really was. Owning a television wasn't just buying another appliance, it was like bringing the future right into your living room. Those early sets were expensive, let's not forget. Most featured small, black and white screens, and reception depended entirely on a rooftop antenna. But despite all those limitations, they were truly magical.
Magical is the perfect word. And unlike today, televisions weren't hidden away in bedrooms. Most homes, like you said, had exactly one television, and it always lived in the family room. Furniture was literally arranged around it, almost like it was the centerpiece of the home.
Right? Dad usually claimed his favorite chair, probably the recliner. Mom sat nearby, maybe knitting or folding laundry. Kids would stretch out across the floor. Sometimes grandparents would join in. Watching television wasn't an individual activity at all. It was dedicated family time.
And that's what I love about remembering this era. Conversations actually happened during commercials. Everyone laughed together, cried together, and probably argued a bit about which show came next. But it really helped create these shared family memories that stuck with you.
It's a stark contrast to today, isn't it? And speaking of choices, one thing younger generations often find surprising is just how few choices people had. Depending on where you lived, you might receive only 3 channels, sometimes 4, occasionally even fewer if you were in a rural area.
It's wild to think about. I mean, my kids would lose their minds if they only had 3 channels. Networks had to carefully plan their schedules because they knew literally millions of people would be watching together. Primetime truly meant something back then.
It really did. When a popular show aired, much of America watched simultaneously. The next morning, everyone talked about it. It was a unifying cultural experience, which is something we rarely get now with such fragmented viewing habits.
And watching television wasn't always easy, let's be honest. Almost every family remembers someone yelling, "Turn the antenna, oh, the antenna dance."
The antenna dance, exactly. One person stayed in the living room, shouting instructions. Another person, usually a kid, climbed onto the roof or stood beside the antenna, trying to get just the right angle. Is that better? No. Now, a little. Stop. Go back. It was a whole workout.
My dad used to make me stand by the rabbit ears, holding them just so, and if I moved even an inch, the picture would get fuzzy again. Some families even wrapped aluminum foil around them, hoping for a stronger signal. It sounds funny today, but back then, it was simply part of watching television.
It was just what you did. And the arrival of television even changed dinner. The famous TV dinner appeared during the 1950s. Suddenly, families could enjoy a complete meal while watching their favorite programs.
Oh, the TV dinner. My mom always talks about them. While many parents still insisted everyone eat at the dinner table for most meals, special occasions often meant those little trays in front of the television. And movie nights? Those became real traditions.
Absolutely. Kids wore pajamas, popcorn filled large bowls, the lights dimmed, and the whole family settled in for an evening together. It was an event.
And speaking of events, today, entire seasons of shows arrive all at once for binge watching, but back then, every single episode mattered. You waited an entire week for the next installment. Can you imagine waiting 7 days to discover whether your favorite cowboy escaped danger, or whether Lucy finally got herself out of another hilarious predicament? That anticipation became such a huge part of the experience.
It really did. People talked about upcoming episodes all week long. Television created this incredible excitement that lasted far beyond the broadcast itself. It was the original water cooler conversation starter, long before water coolers were a thing.
And for many children, Saturday morning was absolutely sacred. Parents slept in, kids woke up early, and cartoons filled the morning. Cereal bowls balanced precariously on the living room floor, and the room just echoed with laughter. Those few hours became treasured childhood memories.
Oh, Saturday morning cartoons are a core memory for so many of us. Children across America watched many of the same programs, creating these incredible shared experiences that lasted for decades. And it wasn't just cartoons. Some programs appealed to nearly everyone in the family.
Like The Andy Griffith Show with its gentle humor and small-town values, or Bonanza, bringing families together for adventure and life lessons. The Beverly Hillbillies filled homes with laughter. And I Love Lucy, that was appointment television, period.
Totally. People often laughed so loudly that neighbors could hear through open windows. These weren't just television shows, they really became part of family life, woven into the fabric of the week.
And commercials weren't something people skipped either. There was no fast-forward button. Some commercials became nearly as memorable as the programs themselves. Children memorized jingles, families quoted slogans. Certain advertisements became part of popular culture.
It's true. Even today, many people can still sing songs from commercials they heard 60 years ago. They had that kind of sticking power. And then, everything changed again, right? When color television became more common, it felt absolutely revolutionary.
Oh, the magic of color. Programs suddenly looked so vibrant. Westerns became even more beautiful with those sweeping landscapes. Nature documentaries came alive. Holiday specials became truly unforgettable. Families would invite neighbors over just to see color television for the first time. It was an experience many people never forgot.
I can only imagine. I mean, think about it, Annie, before the remote control. Believe it or not, changing channels actually required getting up. Children often became the family's unofficial remote control. Go change it to Channel 4, there aren't any cartoons on. Turn it back.
My dad made me do that all the time. I'd groan and get up, turn the giant knob. The television itself had large knobs, one for volume, one for channel, one for power. Simple. No endless menus, no streaming apps, no passwords to remember, just television.
Exactly. Just television. And perhaps the greatest difference wasn't the technology at all, it was the experience. Television brought people together. Entire neighborhoods watched the same shows. Schools buzzed with conversations the next morning.
Families spent time together instead of retreating to separate screens, which is so common now. The television became a shared window into the world, literally uniting households. That feeling is honestly really difficult to recreate today.
It truly is. Today's viewers enjoy incredible convenience, there's no doubt about it. Thousands of channels, streaming services, on-demand movies, you can pause, rewind, watch anytime. These are remarkable advancements, and we certainly appreciate them.
But you have to wonder if something was lost in the process, right? The anticipation, the shared excitement, the family traditions, that feeling that millions of people were experiencing the exact same story together at the very same moment. Classic television really reminds us of that unique moment in history.
Looking back, it's clear that early television was about so much more than just entertainment. It created traditions, it strengthened families, it gave neighbors something to talk about, it introduced unforgettable characters into our homes, and it produced timeless shows that continue entertaining new generations today.
Whether you remember adjusting rabbit ears, watching Bonanza with your parents, laughing at Lucy, or eagerly waiting for Saturday morning cartoons, those memories remind us that television once brought people together in a truly special way.
Perhaps that's why we still return to these classic shows, not simply because they're entertaining, though they certainly are, but because they remind us of home. They remind us of family. They remind us of a simpler time.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for another trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Classic Nostalgia Shows, where every week we celebrate the unforgettable movies, television shows, stars, and stories that continue to stand the test of time.
Until next time, keep celebrating the classics, keep sharing those wonderful memories, and we'll see you at the next show.